Everyone's obsessed with Bali. The rice terraces, the beach clubs, the yoga retreats. But here is what nobody is telling you. Bali isn't Bali anymore. It's LA with temples. It's Starbucks with a side of spirituality. And if you want real Southeast Asian island experience, you're looking at the wrong destination. I spent 3 months in Bali and then I spent a further 3 months in the Philippines. And what I discovered is going to make a lot of Bali lovers probably really angry. But someone needs to say it, at least I think so anyway. In this video, I'm breaking down the ultimate island battle. Philippines versus Bali. The raw versus the refined. The undiscovered versus the overdeveloped. And by the end, you'll know exactly which one deserves your time and your money. Because spoiler alert, one of these destinations is still actually affordable and it's probably not the one that you think. So let's get into it. Quick context, I have been traveling for over a year now, and before I left, I was making videos completely for myself. Selfish, I know. I was doing things that I wish I knew, tips that I needed, but it turns out you are planning similar trips and you want the unfiltered truth. 3 months in each destination. That's not a weekend trip. That's some serious traveling, at least I think. And that's not hopping around on a 2-week holiday either. That is actually staying there, spending time, understanding, experiencing the highs, the lows, and everything in between. And look, I love both. They're both amazing places to be. I genuinely did. Bali gave me some of my favorite travel memories, the sunsets, the culture, the people. But the Philippines gave me something that Bali just couldn't do. It gave me that feeling that when you're chasing something when you first start to travel. The sense of discovery, the raw, unfiltered, this is what I came for energy. So yeah, I have a winner, personal winner. But we're gonna break this down and we're gonna break it down properly because both islands have their own place. Let's go round by round. First up is the vibe, because this is where the biggest difference is and it hits you the moment you arrive. Bali feels produced. Now I know that sounds harsh, but hear me out. You land in Denpasar, within an hour you're surrounded by surf shops with Australian accents, smoothie bowls that cost more than a full meal should, and everyone's speaking English because they've catered to tourists for so long now and that local experience is just completely buried under Western influence. Now, don't get me wrong, it's beautiful. The rice terraces in Ubud are absolutely wonderful. The beaches in Uluwatu are world class. But you're sharing them with thousands of other people who saw the same Instagram post that you did. It's like everyone's following the same treasure map and surprise, surprise, the treasure is crowded. The Philippines though, the Philippines still feels like Southeast Asia, what I expected. You land in Manila and it's just carnage. This is the least safe I've ever felt during any of my travels so far in my life. It's pure, unfiltered chaos. And then you'll get to Palawan or Siargao, literally any of the 7,000 islands, and you realise that what you thought you were experiencing in Bali is what people were experiencing 20 years ago. The locals haven't been jaded by mass tourism yet. The beaches aren't lined with beach clubs charging you $20 for a sunbed. You can still stumble on a secret lagoon without a queue of people waiting to take their turn to take a photo. It's raw, completely raw, and that rawness is exactly what makes it special. Now, does that mean that the Philippines is perfect? Absolutely not. Not at all. And we'll get to the issues. But in terms of pure, authentic Southeast Asia vibes, the Philippines takes round one, and look, it's not even close. Okay, beaches. This is where both destinations absolutely shine, but in very different ways. Bali's beaches are iconic. The things you've seen on Instagram, Seminyak, Canggu, Uluwatu, they are stunning beaches. The sunsets are unreal, and if you want that perfect beach club experience with a cocktail in one hand, watching the waves, then Bali delivers. But here's the thing, most of Bali's famous beaches are completely developed. They're all set up for tourists. You're not discovering anything. You are essentially visiting a postcard. The Philippines? The Philippines has over 7,000 islands. 7,000. And most of them you've definitely not heard of. El Nido will blow your mind. The limestone cliffs, the hidden lagoons, and the water that is so clear that you'll feel like you're floating along in the glass. Coron has shipwrecks that you can literally snorkel. Siargao has Cloud9, one of the best surf breaks in the whole world, and that is just literally scratching the surface. The natural beauty in the Philippines feels totally untouched. It feels like you discovered it, even though obviously other people have been there. It feels like yours. But that sense of exploration, that is, well, what you're paying for. That is what you'll remember. Bali's nature is incredible too. The jungles, the waterfalls, the volcanic mountains. Mount Batur at sunrise is a spiritual experience, but again, you're doing it with 100 other people in 100 different jeeps. The Philippines will just let you have those moments without the crowds and maybe a couple of Filipino kids. And here's the thing, the beaches in the Philippines that would be overrun with resorts in Bali, well, most of them are still relatively empty. You can have an entire stretch of white sand all to yourself if you're willing to take a slightly longer boat ride or go for a big long walk. Round 2 is the Philippines again, because untouched beauty beats developed beauty when you're looking for that true escape. And I think that's what we're looking for if we're on these islands, right? All right, let's talk money, because, well, this is where things get spicy. And both destinations are going to take some heat because they equally piss me off. So, Bali used to be cheap. I've had friends travel there a long time ago. It used to be backpacker paradise cheap, and it's not anymore. Bali has got to be the most expensive destination in Southeast Asia, and it's not even close. A decent meal in Canggu is probably 15 to 20 quid. A private room in a guest house can go up to $50 to $70 a night, and that is even if you're being budget conscious. A scooter rental and a co-working space for a day pass, plus a yoga class, it's all adding up so fast. And the thing is, you're not even paying for luxury, you're paying for the location. You are paying because every other traveller is also willing to pay, so the prices keep on going up. Just basic economy. It's basic supply and demand, and it's made Bali feel less like Southeast Asia and more like Southern California with better weather. The Philippines, on paper, it should be cheaper, and in a lot of ways, it is. Accommodation is considerably more affordable. Meals are way cheaper, and you can eat incredible local food for $3 to $5. And don't get me wrong, you can do that in the warungs in Bali. A guest house on a beautiful island will cost you $20 to $30 for the top end. But, and this is a big, big but, the Philippines has become the Feelopines to me, because the hidden fees will absolutely get you. Want an island hop? No problem, environmental fee. Entering a national park? Another fee. Get into an island, another fee. Need to use a road down there, environmental fee. Parking, snorkeling, fee. Even the boat trips, they cost you a fortune, and then there's a snorkeling fee, boat hire fee, and probably flippers fee and snorkel fee. And the ferries are expensive, and domestic flights can cost more than international flights, sometimes even double. It's wild, it's ridiculous. And it's not just the fees, it's honestly, it's how frequent they are. It's way, way too often. Every single stop, another fee. And if you're riding, another fee. Every beach, every viewpoint, every single activity. And it adds up as much mentally for me as it does financially. I started to feel like I'm getting mugged off at every turn. So here's the honest breakdown. Day-to-day living, the Philippines is considerably cheaper. But when you factor in transportation between islands, all of these little random fees add up really fast. They pop up everywhere. And the fact that getting around is also more complicated, then the cost really starts to stand out to me. So if you're staying in one place, Philippines would definitely win, but then that's not the point. If you're island hopping and moving around a lot, then you'll be surprised how quickly it adds up. Bali is expensive, but at least it is predictable. The Philippines does feel like they are mugging you off in ways that you just wouldn't expect. So round 3, I'm going to call it a draw, but for very different reasons. You pick your own poison on this one. Let's talk activities, because both of these destinations are packed, jam-packed with things to do. Bali is incredibly dense. Everything is just close together. You can, if you want to, surf in the morning, visit a temple at lunch, watch the sunset at a beach club, and hit up the night market for dinner. And you can do all that in one day. If nothing else, it's efficient and it's convenient. And if you only had a week or two, I think that density is a huge advantage. You've got world-class surfing, incredible dive spots, hiking volcanoes, exploring rice terraces, yoga retreats, traditional dance performances, temple ceremonies, ATVs, you name it. Bali doesn't lack for activities. And because the tourism infrastructure is so developed, everything is so easy to book, easy to access, and honestly, easy to enjoy, even getting a guide. The Philippines is the opposite. It's vast, and every island has its own unique little world. Palawan is completely different from Cebu, which is completely different again from Siargao, which is just completely different again from Bohol. And you're not like hopping between activities, you're hopping between entirely different ecosystems. What cost £1 over there might cost 20 over there. You want to see whale sharks? Cebu. You want to dive with thresher sharks? Malapascua. And you want to go surfing? Of course, Siargao. Want to explore underground rivers and limestone caves? Off to Palawan you go. And if you want to see the chocolate hills and the tiny tarsiers, so cute, then you have to go to Bohol. Off you go. The variety is literally insane. But here's the catch. Getting between these places not only takes time, it killed a whole day for us at times, and money, and patience, and you can't just scoot it over to the next activity. You're gonna have to fly or take a ferry. You're taking ferries, flights, long bus rides. It can feel taxing. It's an adventure in itself, which is cool if that is what you're into, but I know for a fact that's not for everyone. If you want convenience, then of course Bali wins. For sheer variety and that sense of exploration though, the Philippines would have to take it, because every new island feels like a completely new trip. You're not just seeing different beaches, you are genuinely exploring different cultures, different foods, different vibes. So round 4 would have to go to a draw, because Philippines is amazing if you have time to explore it properly, but Bali is better because you can get around easily and do so much in one day. Okay, infrastructure. This is where we have to get real, man, because Bali's infrastructure is actually pretty good. Other than the occasional missing road or, you know, a bit of damage on the main roads, the roads are pretty decent, and scooters are everywhere and they're cheap to rent. You can get almost anywhere on the island within a couple of hours. And one thing that makes everything easy as well is English. Almost everyone in the tourist areas speaks somewhat decent English, so communication's typically pretty smooth. You can get by without any real issues. But the traffic, oh my god, the traffic! Especially around Canggu, Seminyak and Ubud. It is just a nightmare. There are too many tourists, too many scooters, not enough roads, and what should be a 20-minute ride turned into an hour sitting in gridlock, breathing in exhaust fumes while people are just riding on the curb. The Philippines has its own infrastructure issues, but they're very different. Manila is absolute carnage. And I spent a day, well 2 or 3 days actually there, and honestly that was more than enough. The traffic makes Bali look calm. It's overwhelming, but the thing is here, you don't need to stay in Manila. Most people will fly into Cebu, which is a way better city. It's modern, it's clean, it's organized. It's actually a great hub. It's one of the best cities. Language-wise, the Philippines is also brilliant because almost everyone speaks English there and a bit of Spanish. Most Filipinos, especially in tourist areas, speak perfect English. So communication is never, well, a problem at all, which honestly, just as I said before, makes navigating everything so much easier, for me anyway, because I speak English. But here is where I need to address an elephant in the room, and this genuinely tainted the Philippines for me, like so much so in certain areas, the harassment. I've travelled all over Southeast Asia and all over Europe, and I've dealt with touts, sellers, selling tours, whatever you name it. It's part of the experience. But the Philippines takes it to another level, like genuinely the worst I've ever experienced anywhere, including Southeast Asia. Specifically White Beach and Bohol and Boracay. It was relentless, non-stop. And I'm not talking about someone offering you a boat trip and then you say like, no thanks, I'm good, and you go away. No. I'm talking about being chased down the beach, people like pulling at my arm, pulling my jacket, pulling my shirt, pulling my neck, trying to sell me literally anything. Boat tours, foods, bits of cloth, singing performances that I did not ask for. I don't want your singing performance. And when you ignore them, they just send children after you instead. Because they think, and I mean actual children by the way, like little babies, because they think that you won't be fair with the child. And the Filipinos I spoke to, they hate this as well. And they said that there's no fix and they don't like it. White Beach and Bohol, I literally couldn't relax. And Puka Beach, because people are coming up to us every 5 seconds harassing us. Boracay is the same. And the worst part is you couldn't even be polite about it anymore because the politeness gets you nowhere. Genuinely, they just won't go away. You have to be firm, and it feels like it's to the point of rudeness just to be left alone. And I hate that because I hate feeling like I have to be harsh with people who are trying to make a living. And I feel like it crosses a line though from selling into harassment, and that's not acceptable. This happens mostly in busy touristy areas, and it's not everywhere. But in those spots, honestly, it's unbearable, and it's something that you need to mentally prepare for if you're going, because it's a huge part. Once you're on the islands though, and you're away from these hotspots, infrastructure varies wildly. Some places are, well, pretty easy, and some places are a little bit rough. Sometimes the roads are bumpy, sometimes there's no roads at all. Ferries can be delayed or just don't turn up. But you know what, to me at least, that's part of the adventure. And honestly, the lack of overdevelopment is exactly why the Philippines still feels authentic. If you want smooth, easy travel without the constant hustle, then Bali wins hands down. If you can handle a bit of chaos, unpredictability, and unfortunately some aggressive selling tactics in the busier spots, then the Philippines will reward you with experiences that Bali just simply cannot do anymore. So round 5, I'm going to give this to Bali purely for convenience and peace of mind. But remember, that convenience comes at the cost of what made Bali special in the first place. We've took it away from Bali. All right, so my take after 3 months in each, for me, the Philippines wins, but genuinely it's barely. And I need to be honest about why it's not like a landslide effort. Bali is incredible. The infrastructure is better, the convenience is unmatched, and you don't have to deal with the constant harassment that you deal with almost everywhere else in Southeast Asia. That matters hugely. That genuinely affects your day-to-day experience. But Bali has been loved to death, yes. It has been Instagrammed into oblivion, and it's been turned into a product. That polish means you can actually relax and enjoy yourself without constantly being on guard. But the Philippines still has that raw, authentic experience, that feeling of discovery, the sense that you're seeing something real, not something that's staged for tourists. The natural beauty is totally unmatched. The variety across those 7,000 little islands is insane. And when you find those quiet moments, those hidden beaches, the genuine interactions with the locals, it's magic. It's special. But it comes with trade-offs. The fees, honestly, they're exhausting. The harassment in busy tourist spots genuinely tainted some experiences for me. I'm sure you can tell. White Beach and Boracay could have been highlights, but instead they became places that I just wanted to avoid. And then there's the frustration that the Philippines has so much to offer, but these small issues get in the way of enjoying it. So here's my actual verdict. If you want one trip to Southeast Asia and you want it to be easy, comfortable, beautiful, with minimal hassle, then you should 100% go to Bali. You'll have an incredible time and you won't regret it, and you get the most amazing photos. But if you're willing to deal with some madness, some frustration, and some moments where you'll want to scream, "Just leave me alone!" at yet another person who's trying to sell you something else, then the Philippines will give you stories that Bali simply cannot do anymore. It'll give you that sense of adventure, those jaw-dropping moments where you feel like you've discovered something that nobody else knows about. The Philippines, it is harder. But for me, it was worth every second. Just go with your eyes open about what you're signing up for. Both genuinely are incredible. But right now, in 2025, if you can handle the rough edges that the Philippines is giving you, you'll get what Bali gave to travelers 20 years ago. And that window will not last forever. So that's the battle. Philippines versus Bali. And the winner in my case is clear. But here's what I want to know. Have you been to both or either? Do you agree? Or do you think I am completely wrong and mad off my head? Drop a comment below, because I know it's going to be controversial and I want to hear everyone else's take. I love having conversations and I'll answer every comment. And if you're planning a trip to either destination, you want specific tips, specific island recommendations, or budget breakdowns, let me know what video to make next. Philippines deep dive, Bali unfiltered, you tell me. If you've liked this video, I have 2 more on screen that I think you'll love.